The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And live from the Riv, it's Monday.
And it is live. We're
here. We thought for a while we weren't going to. They were going to be doing electrical work, but fortunately,
they're all done.
They're all finished.
They're complete. So there are no more excuses.
We should have uninterrupted Spindle City Straight Talk for a while.
And I want to reach out and say hello to my new friend Bob. I saw him this morning over at our usual breakfast place here on President Avenue. And he came over and he said, "You have a TV show?" And I said, "Yes, we do." He says, "I like your shirt. Where can I get one?"
Tell him. And, you know, next time you see him, tell him we'll autograph it for him.
That's it. You know, I mean, everywhere we go, they don't watch our show.
That's right.
But it's been a lovely weekend.
Yeah. And, nice and hot.
It was nice and hot and rainy on Saturday, and the city was flooded. Everyone was breaking out their rafts and boats and going down Pleasant Street, going down Bedford Street.
Yeah, and today they're flushing the hydrants. I know they're supposed to advertise them, but they
did advertise that starting today they're going to be flushing hydrants all over the city. It's the semi-annual hydrant flushing.
So yeah, but maybe, you know, we should turn that into an Olympic event or something. You know? Hydrant flushing or some stuff. But yeah, so everybody out there that didn't know about it, be careful. Your water's going to be brown when you run it now, because when they initially run those things, it's going to be, you know. So don't do a wash and don't do anything. Make sure you clear your pipes before you do anything, you know. And if you drink tap water, I don't know why anybody would drink tap water, but if you do, make sure little stories. We have to.
I think we should talk about shovels in the ground, because we're paying for it.
Oh, shovels in the ground. Yeah, you mean the debt override that we didn't need? Yeah,
right.
The one that they lied through their teeth about and gave all this baloney, and then we found out that it's all crap. Don't forget. Previews a coming attraction. Soon we'll have a bond for Diamond, too. So, yes, just keep your wallets. As a matter of fact, look, don't even put them back in your pocket. Just give it to them.
Yeah, just give them a checkbook.
Just give them your checkbook and forget about it, and because that's all they know how to do. And regardless of how much money they got plenty of money to create new jobs and give waiters positions as directors and of minimum housing with no qualifications, but when it comes to saving you a nickel on a fee or a tax, forget about it.
Hey, I got a $415 water bill.
Hey,
they like me.
I haven't gotten mine. I'm waiting with bated breath.
And the rainwater tax went up.
Yeah, well, everything goes up except your pays.
That's right.
And the people's pays don't go up, and they don't care, because we have the elite class, because they can live in Fairhaven and get a $20,000 pay raise, a $30,000 pay raise. There's a guy with no qualifications to do anything. Started out at like 50, then went to 60. Now he's up at 80. So what the hell? He's only been working a couple of years, and he's already up at 80 grand. You know,
it's amazing what you get when your lips are planted on the right derriere.
Yeah, it's amazing. and you know, we're looking at this shovels hits the ground in September, like, wow. And there's our superintendent who, you know, I guess it's okay if we stay here. We don't have to move to Russia because he got his way. We don't have to. If you don't like it, move to Russia. I still don't like it. He was up there this morning, watched him deliver it. Said it was, you know, what they're doing is awesome. They're building a building. Let's not get too crazy about this, you know. And let's see if we can build it right. We haven't built anything right in I don't know how many years. And we saw the problems with the old Durfee when it was the new Durfee, and it had problems almost from the outset. So let's concentrate on trying to get the thing done right, which is really something that is very, very difficult in this city. So we're going to keep a close eye on this one. We're going to find out where all these contracts go and all.
I just want to see all the change orders.
Yeah.
Because change order means give me more change. And it's usually not small change either.
It's not change. It's folding money. You know,
That's right.
Give me folding money.
Big folding money.
Big folding money, yeah.
That's why the mayor, when he was talking about streetscapes, and he says, oh, no, we've already gotten a few change orders. Well, how much?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet. Because you don't care.
That's right.
It's not your money.
It's not your money. Besides that, you know, when you're in Portugal or Paris, nobody cares about what's happening on purchase. Even you, even though you live there, or you're supposed to live there. But again, they're going to keep beating this thing to death. You know, now we're going to get the propaganda thing, and everybody can the school department, all the huge pay raises and salaries given to these administrators, and we're going to hire 12 more people. We still, for the second time, didn't finish in the top 100. And what did we say? What did we say when we were talking about this building? Buildings do not educate children.
That's right. And Durfee didn't even make the top 100.
Yeah.
So, and of course, they're going to blame it on the fact that, well, Durfee's falling apart and it's the building's fault.
Oh, yeah, it's the building's fault. People can't learn. There are people in third world countries going to school in a mud hut, and they're finishing higher on scores than American and
kids. They're using clay tablets.
And yeah. They're probably using abacuses. They don't have computers, and you know, so look, it's propaganda. If we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and we're not number one in virtually any healthcare thing, yeah, we got some great hospitals, we got some horrible hospitals. We're like, I don't know the last statistic was, but I know the last one I looked at, we were in the 41st or 42nd in infant mortality in the world, which means there are third world countries that have a lower infant mortality than we do in the United States. Yet we spend probably 10 times more on health care than any other country on the planet. See, that's the politicians' propaganda, and they've got you believing that. They've got you believing that the answer to every problem is to throw money at it. Not look at the problem, come up with a plan and a solution and fix it. No, throw more money, hire more people, give some more people some jobs, give that, the principal can't do his job because he's incompetent, give him 2 assistants, both of whom contribute to your campaign, and give them a good job, and that's the way we fix everything in government. Throw your money, not their money, because what's going to happen with them is, let's look at what's happened to them. Where's Eddie Lambert?
Making $400,000 at UMass Boston.
And where does he live?
Not in Fall River.
He doesn't live in Fall River anymore. I believe he lives in Dartmouth.
Yep.
So that's what they do. They take the money and they run. They give themselves, they start off with a paltry $100,000 salary as the mayor. Then they politic their way into the good graces of the other political hacks. And they ultimately worm their way into jobs like Joe Menard did into BCC and gets a no-show position that almost doubled her pension. And then when she leaves that after she gets her time in, her daughter gets the job and she gets rehired as a consultant. The money trough never dries up for politicians. And why?
And for political hacks.
And for political hacks. The only difference is the politicians, you know, their salaries know no bounds. Most of these political hacks, they get a job that they're not qualified for. They make way more money than they should be making. And then when their political tuchus leaves, they remain employed for the most part. I'm not talking about city administrators. I'm talking about the people like that. They get slid into the minimum housing. They get slid into some office in City Hall. And then they're there. And you never see them again. They just disappear into the woodwork. And 20 years later, you see their retirement going in front of the retirement board. Oh, nice retirement for somebody who would have probably had no retirement, been still working as a waiter, but now he's got a good retirement. Why? And you know who lets that happen? You do.
Yep, by your votes.
You do.
And while we're speaking about money,
And I do, but I don't do it because I don't vote for the most of these people. But the fact is, I do vote. But the only way to fix this problem, and we keep saying it, but nobody wants to do it because nobody wants to get rid of their guy, is you got to clear the swamp. You got to get rid of all of these people. If they're not working for you, they're working for themselves.
of getting, and to quote her, okay, there are no guarantees that we will get the money, but you are guaranteed to not get the money if you don't put it in the bill. And here's what she wants money for. She wants money to build parking garages. The request is for $1 million to build a garage somewhere on the city's waterfront and $2 million to build a garage downtown. Oh, you mean the garages we can't take care of?
Yeah, well, they're going to build it for $2 million, then they'll let it fall into disrepair, then they'll rebond, and then they'll ask for another $10 million later on down the line to build another garage.
Right.
But this is what they do. There's no guarantee. But hey, guess what? What are these parking garages for? The waterfront that they've been developing for what, 40 years?
40 years.
40 years, because all the millions of tourists that are going to flock to Fall River to take a cab to Purchase Street to sit outside the one bench that they'll have in front of the Pink Bean. You know, that's why we're building all this stuff. But it's not a colossal waste of money.
Nope.
Of course it isn't. You know what it is? It's political traction. Get your name. It's an election.
It's an election year.
Election year. Get your name in. See all the work you're doing for Fall River. Building a parking garage for who? For the people that don't come here. But then, oh, wait a minute. What do we do? What does government do? Oh, that's right. You're right. Nobody's coming. Let's hire 75 people to work in economic development that we know and give them all jobs. And look how good our economic development has been over the past 25 years. Has the city gotten any better? Has the demographic improved? Has the average wage improved? Has the poverty level improved? No. Has the educational system gotten better? No. The answer to all those important questions on essential areas is a giant, colossal no.
And that's the problem. And what else does she want to do? She wants money to fix exit 8 on Route 24, which is the exit which goes to the industrial park because it doesn't have good drainage. And she wants money to expand the Quequechan Rail Trail. You know, the one that has the road going through it?
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is that there should have been a proviso by her if she had the car, but she won't attempt to urinate on the state senator who interceded to get that road built, even though they had ruled against it. She won't say, well, let's get money for the Quequechan Rail Trail only if they don't build a private road through it. Let's make it as pristine as it originally was projected to be. Let's get the rail trail that got put in for one of the best rail trails exactly the way it was intended to be originally, not with some road built for a private corporation. So, but no, heaven forbid, and nobody up there, it's the giant dance of the chickens and how to spend your money on stuff that's not going to help you. Parking lot going to help you on the waterfront? I don't think so.
Definitely. And really, what are you going to use it for?
Yeah. To go down to what? The courthouse? Well, maybe. Your destination courthouse. I don't know if you're going to take the downtown parking garage. But as you said, CJ, and that's the point. That's the point. Let's look at already what we've talked about in the first 15 minutes. We're talking about a school that fell into disrepair almost immediately and was virtually never maintained.
Right.
And now it's going to cost us millions of dollars to fix it. Could it have lasted longer? Absolutely. And then now we're talking about new parking garages. In the face of the fact that we've already admitted that the parking garages we already have are in total disrepair. So what does that prove? We have maintenance budgets, we have people paying to oversee this, and nothing ever gets done. And what do? And the amazing thing to show you how smart Goebbels really was, when he said if you tell a lie often enough and it's a big enough lie, people will begin to believe it. They actually used something that should be a negative, and they turned it into a positive. You remember when we were talking about the school debt override? And they're showing pictures of the water buckets and the, oh, look how horrible these classrooms are. Did anybody say they got horrible because nobody did anything about it for years, for decades? They actually said, oh, it's been like this for years, and oh, what can we do? Well, yeah, if your house roof leaks, what do? You fix it. No, you don't. If you're in the school department, you hire 5 more administrators and a couple more counselors. That's what you do. You don't fix anything. You just let the thing just disintegrate before your eyes, pay your maintenance department, pay the city's maintenance department, and when it's done, you go back to the taxpayer and say, give me more money. Look at this place. It's a mess. And the taxpayers don't tell you, you know what the word is.
Yeah.
I can't even say it in Italian. It might be somebody out there understands Italian, so they'll call the FCC. But they basically tell you that, and accompanied by the hand gesture. The hell with you. We don't care. We've had a maintenance department for years, and we don't maintain anything, and who cares? Don't even bother talking about that. Nobody cares. They're just there to get a paycheck.
That's
and
it.
You're just here to pay.
Of
just
course.
keep rebuilding it. You people, look, let's be like the city. Buy a car, never put oil in it, never change the oil, never maintain it. And when it blows up, go to your neighbor and say, hey, give me some money. I need a new car. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for me, but it works for government because you let it work because you don't vote these clowns out. So it's the same old story, just a different circumstance. It's like the only reason you need a program is to identify which thing they're abusing, whether it's the school not being maintained, or parking garages not being maintained, or people getting jobs they're not qualified for. The common denominator and the bottom line is always one thing. More money out of your pocket.
That's right.
And you don't get what you need. You don't get more public safety. You don't get better services. No, you get to pay more for less.
Well, speaking of getting paid more for less, and now we're going to get paid less for less, Westport's going to suffer.
Yeah.
And Senator Michael Rodrigues really couldn't do much about it for his own home community, because he doesn't live in Fall River, for you people who think he does. He lives in Westport, okay?
Always has for years.
Right, and Westport got a letter saying that they're going to be getting $230,000 less for Horseneck Beach and the state beaches because they reevaluated them. I guess that was kind of like payment in lieu of taxes.
Yeah, well, when I read this article, it always, I'm definitely, I don't think I'm a pessimist or an optimist. I think I'm a pragmatist. I'm realistic. But I look at this and I think about the article we read a little while ago, a week or two ago, about him interceding for the rail trail.
Right.
For somebody that gives, that's got money and is well connected. What is he, the second-ranking senator now?
Yes.
Is he up to the second, number 2?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's one of the most, he's the second most powerful senator in the state of Massachusetts. You're not going to tell me that he couldn't have leveraged this, but guess what? He's not going to waste his time and his leverage to just work for the people who go to the beach. They're just regular people. Why would you write a letter? Did you write a letter to the EPA when you were working for that guy? You went in there and physically strong-arm those people. And one of the individuals said you did. So, don't give me this baloney. Politicians, like I said, they do as little as possible for the regular people and do everything they can for anybody that can give them money or help them with their main goal, which is to stay in office forever.
I hear you there. Now, when this budget came out, there was $50,000 or more, which went to this alleged South Watuppa Pond Rowing Center. They got money for that. And the reason why Paul Schmidt gave them that money was because if you go to rowing and you can be a rower, you can get accepted to high-end colleges like Harvard and Yale.
Oh, yeah. Sure. You
Like that's going to happen.
Oh, yes.
But here's the thing. They had those boats in the water this past week. Meanwhile, there's alerts going up from DEM saying, don't go near the water. the algae bloom is going to kill you,
Here we are. They stay up in Boston too long. They're delusionary to begin with, but it's all a con. Rowing. A rowing center? Yeah. Okay. You know what? I can see all them going, sculling on the Charles River in the morning. Like, I forgot what movie it was. It opened with somebody sculling rowing down the Charles River for their morning workout. One of the yuppies from Cambridge rowing down the Charles River. So we're going to have a rowing center. Well, great idea, Representative
But I don't want
Schmidt.
my tax dollars paid for it.
A little delusionary, but let's waste some more. You know something? Let's not stop here, CJ. Let's recommend that this be expanded. Let's take by eminent domain about 100 acres, and we can start an equestrian school.
Hey.
And we can have a cricket league, and we can have lawn bowling and all these other things that people do that make a lot of money and don't live in this area. The hell with the rowing center. Why don't you take some money and train some people to be welders or fabricators or pipe fitters like they're doing in Rhode Island to get people jobs? Rowing in Fall River? Who's going to row in Fall River?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Paul Schmidt sponsored the bill, okay?
And by the way, Paul Schmidt is a millionaire.
Right. And he's from Westport.
Just for the record, he does this because it's like he's a rich guy. It's fun.
And again, these are politically connected people because he sponsored a 5-year bond at $300,000. And this rowing center is hoping that the money comes in the first or second year.
Yeah, and I bet you he knows a few people who row in his tax bracket.
Of course.
No, I don't know anybody who rows unless it's a rowing machine at Planet Fitness.
But here's where the fabrication of their mind goes crazy. It opens doors. Most people in the city have no idea about crew, said Representative Alan Sylvia.
Yeah, you're right. And
he noted the participation of the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club. The YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club don't have a rowing club. Yeah. What are they going to do, go down there and pay them?
Yeah, but the thing is that people, like I said, they're delusionary. Look, it's a fact. It may not be good, but there is a pecking order and a caste system in the world.
That's right.
They also, and I don't know if they still do, I know they had a massive renovation. But they used to have squash courts at the YMCA in Fall River. How many people do you know that play squash?
Not too many.
I know one person, I think he's dead now, Leo Strickman, who used to play tennis up at Featherdick. I know one guy who played squash in the entire city of Fall River. It's a rich man's sport. I hate to say it, but it is. It's a rich man's sport. You don't see people playing squash. You see people playing handball. You wanna see squash courts, and you want to see a lot of people playing squash. You know the place that I saw the most people playing squash was I went to Boston one time, and Neil Rossman, who was the attorney at the time for the union, came down and he had a few hours in the afternoon, and I took him to the Fall River Boys Club. And we played handball. He'd never played handball before. And so he invited me the next time I went to Boston to get an hour or two, and he was going to take me over to the Boston Athletic Club, where you can't belong unless you have unless your income is way beyond a normal person's income. And I went into the Boston Athletic Club, and it was like going into a 5-star resort area. They give you, you don't bring your own towel. They give you everything. And I walked into the lockers and we were changing up to go have my first foray into squash. And I sat down, and Neil said hello to a guy, and he started talking to him, and he turned around, he said, let me introduce you to my friend here. He's from Fall River, and he's, at the time I was the president of the Firefighters Union. It was Governor Weld. And that's who went to the Boston Athletic Club to play squash. Millionaires, rich people, they play squash. They don't work in this city. Will you get a grip on reality? Where do you people live? What kind of wacky juice are you drinking? Don't you know anything about how things actually work in the world? What helps in inner cities? You know what's turned the most people around in inner cities? PAL, teaching them the discipline of boxing, martial arts, jiu-jitsu schools, things they can go to at a fairly reasonable rate because they're competitive, and it teaches them some discipline, instills some self-esteem. No, take some kid that can't afford sneakers and stick them on a squash court playing with the millionaires. And that's really going to help them a lot. It's going to open doors. No, it isn't. It's going to feed into their lack of self-esteem. Wake up. You people are just, it's absolutely nauseating to look at you in your yuppie world trying to fix a community where people need help on a level that you can't even appreciate. It's disgusting.
Well, what can you do?
You can just rail at it. They say, rage against the dying of the light of this city, because everything they propose is absolute BS.
Hey.
Outdoor dining is going to fix the city. Outdoor dining is going to fix the city. A parking garage on the waterfront is going to bring tourists, like the Carousel did, like the Bounty did. And you wonder. And I'm not talking, look, am I right? I'll tell you what, I'll bet anybody, because I'll tell you, they've been doing this for 25 or 30 years, and the city's gotten worse. And anybody that can tell me the city is better than it was 30 years ago, I beg to differ.
So much so that the police department, in cooperation with the FBI, made 38 arrests over the weekend of gang members.
Oh, yeah, and there's a serious gang problem in the city of Fall River. But have we heard about it?
No, we never hear about it.
What do we hear about? Outdoor dining.
Of course. Because outdoor dining is important.
Mm-hmm. to delusionary people, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're all on your meds over at Government Center, because, unfortunately, you got your little dose of reality today. You want to get something, give some money to the PAL.
Give it to somebody else besides you.
Where inner city kids can actually get some programs that'll help them. Never mind the crew.
Well, it's been a great show. Have a great day, everyone. Stay angry, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Let's go sculling on the Taunton.